Among the countless ways 9/11 changed this country was the sudden proliferation of air marshals. And maybe you've tried to spot the undercover lawman among your fellow passengers. Well, tonight, the disturbing revelation that the guy with the gun just might be the same guy snoring. ABC's Brian Ross investigates. Brian?
Bill, there are an estimated 4,000 federal air marshals, and much of how they do their jobs is kept secret to protect their undercover role on hundreds of flights every day. But that secrecy has also helped to hide what some current and former air marshals tell ABC News is outrageous conduct, behavior that sounds more like something from Animal House than one of the country's most important law enforcement agencies. Their job is to make sure this never happens again. Traveling armed and undercover, they fit in with all the other passengers until something happens.
Federal Air Marshal, turn everybody move!
Then trained to swing into action and make split-second decisions with mature professional judgment. But a decade after the 9/11 attacks, there are disturbing concerns about the billion-dollar air marshal program. And Florida Senator Bill Nelson has demanded a federal investigation of this critically important agency.
The lives of the traveling public are at stake.
Current and former air marshals tell ABC News that behind the scenes, at this air marshal office in Orlando and at others across the country, there is a striking lack of professionalism.
I expect my federal law enforcement officers to set the bar, not to act like a bunch of school kid punks.
This is Jeopardy! One prime example, a distorted air marshal version of the popular game show Jeopardy.
This game is played exactly like the game on TV that you see.
Former Air Marshal Steve Theodoropoulos took pictures of this version at the Air Marshal Training Office in Orlando 2 years ago. The categories are all slurs, apparently meant to humiliate minority and gay air marshals.
Category pickle smokers was directly aimed at gay males.
Our gang listed African Americans, sometimes called buckwheats.
We had categories like Ellen DeGeneres, if you were a gay female.
Including one who later killed herself in a suicide at least partially blamed on the Jeopardy game.
Anybody that's not like them, they're against. I mean, how do you operate under those conditions?
Also present during our interview were 3 currently serving air marshals who are not allowed to appear publicly.
I am speaking for them.
He also said he spoke for this air marshal, Sonia Hightower, who says she was the victim of sexual misconduct and assault by a senior manager, but told us she cannot speak publicly while her discrimination complaint is pending.
He was attempting to show off his personal private parts without unzipping his pants.
Over the last 5 years, air marshals have been documenting the alleged bad behavior of their bosses. The air marshals say this photo shows another senior manager, since retired, sound asleep on a flight to Atlanta, on duty and fully armed.
Now all you need to know is a terrorist gets a hold of that gun, he's got a free gun on that airplane.
Air marshals say this photo shows a supervisor whose idea of a joke was to jump into a nativity scene in the main square in Brussels, Belgium. It's been air marshals gone wild.
This is unprofessional. This is unacceptable.
Now the report that Senator Nelson demanded from the Homeland Security Inspector General is to be made public Thursday, but obtained early by ABC News. It concludes that for all the allegations and problems, perceived or real at the air marshals, they do not appear to have compromised the service's mission. A conclusion welcomed today by the head of the TSA, John Pistole.
Do you feel the security of the public was put at risk? Absolutely not.
But Senator Nelson says he's not so sure about that.
Sooner or later, if you do not have people operating at their peak efficiency, then you take the risk that a terrorist is going to get away with its dirty deed.
76% of the air marshals surveyed said they felt the mission to protect the public has not been compromised. But that leaves about 1 out of 4, some 1,000 air marshals, who still seem to think there is a problem that makes in-flight safety and security less good than it should be. Bill?
Brian Ross, our thanks to you.